the rabbi of Havara Shalom here in Portland, and while I know many in my community are aligned with me in what I'll say, I speak here in this moment for myself. I'm not Israeli, and so I'm not living with the agony and the grief and the fear that so many people who I know are right now. But I've lived in Israel for close to 3 years of my life. I have deep connections there. I have family and friends with whom I've been in touch over these days. The massacre and kidnappings carried out by Hamas, which killed 1,400 Israelis and took over 230 captive, as we all here agree, were unspeakable atrocities. As a community leader, I support and accompany many people with close ties to Israel, some of them much closer than mine, immediate family members, dozens of extended family and dear friends. Members of my community lost loved ones and had loved ones taken captive. Many of us have close family and friends in Israel who are grieving, who are terrified, whose lives have been upended by the horrors of October 7th and the days since. I've been a Jewish leader for over 20 years, and I've never encountered the level of fear within my own people as I have in these last few weeks. In addition to the reverberations from Israel, we have witnessed expressions of support and even celebration of Hamas's actions, as well as other terrifying scenes of anti-Semitic threats and actual violence carried out in recent days, which leave Jewish communities around the world legitimately afraid for our safety. All this in the context of the very real generational trauma that we as Jews carry collectively, and that so many of us, including many of us right here in Portland, carry personally through our own family stories, has left me feeling that something has been shattered among our people. It has been heartbreaking to witness and accompany my community in this time. During my years of living in Israel, I have also spent extensive time in Palestinian communities in the West Bank. I have been honored to have Palestinian people, teachers, social workers, businessmen, university students share their stories with me in schools, in their living rooms. And I made the commitment early on that I would not take those stories lightly. I hold them with me now as I do my best, as horrific as it is, to conjure in my mind and heart what life is like right now in Gaza. Not that I should need those experiences, those encounters in Ramallah, in Beit Sahur, in Budrus, watching the images, reading the stories from people like Nael, and tragically so many others who have had so much taken from them, who are living this utter nightmare right now as we speak. Over 8,000 people killed, over 3,000 children. All in the context of an unimaginable humanitarian catastrophe. Neighborhoods reduced to rubble, people left without sufficient water, food, basic medical care. And it brings me face to face with what I believe to be at the very heart of Jewish tradition. That all human beings are created b'tselem Elohim, in the image of God. This core-orienting principle that all human life is sacred and precious. We are being asked to hold many truths at the same time right now, but these I will not hold together. The sacredness of human life and the unspeakable atrocities happening in this very moment in Gaza. And so I stand here alongside fellow Jews and our Palestinian friends and unequivocally call for an immediate ceasefire and an immediate return of the hostages. Many in the Jewish community feel differently. Some validly ask out of a place of fear and genuine agony, well, what is Israel supposed to do in response to Hamas? To which I ask in return, what do we really envision happening at the end of this? I have yet to hear anyone provide a reasonable strategic path to how this will make Israel any safer in the long run. How will this not result in a more violent and rage-filled resistance movement that will not make Israel safer, but actually the opposite? So I say, from a moral human place, and also with Ahavat Yisrael, with love for my people, ceasefire now. Immediate return of hostages. International engagement and cooperation toward a path to genuine safety and freedom. for Israelis and Palestinians. As this is a fragile time in the Jewish community filled with fear and grief and anger, it is, to say the least, that as well for Palestinians throughout the world. So it is powerful to be standing here today with our Palestinian partners, together as Jews and Palestinians, with a shared voice, recognizing that the safety, the freedom, and the dignity of Palestinians and Israelis are intertwined. May we live to see the day when we all share in that vision. Let us begin with an end to the violence now. Thank you.